but it's a juggle every day. You get up in the morning, you're like, okay, what has to be tackled today? What needs to be done today? And the time we find for ourselves is in the work we're doing as much as it is the things we're carving out for ourselves.
I like it as buckets of time, right? Every day looks different. It's a juggling act of all sorts. And you have no idea what like flaming grenade's going to come on your desk too, just to like to mix it up a little bit. And I think at the end of the day, it's about when you go to bed at night, do you feel like you did something purposeful or important? And, some days you feel like a hero and some not so great. Um, but I do think the work of purpose is a firm driver for both of us and every move that we make, whether it's in our business, our family, our sparkle, all that stuff.
And that so comes through everything that you guys do, that purpose. And this is what I love about you two, is that your message, because you say this often on your podcast, your message is work-life balance is bullshit. It doesn't exist. Quit. And I was guilty of this. Like when I started my women's community, I wanted to be all pink and fluffy and work-life balance and all that. And it's like that. No, it's not that. So I'm trying to transition into, it's okay to be hard, to be big, to go hard, to go all in, for it to be messy. That's how you make impacts and changes in the world. So how did you let ladies get to that message of like, it doesn't really exist and screw it, we're not following that?
I think, when you go to bed and you feel like shit because you haven't accomplished all the things. And I had like little kids and I was running an insurance agency and sparkling and doing all these things. And I just said, this is not a way to live my life. This is not how I want to live my life. And so I just kind of said, I'm going to do what I can do, and no one's going to die tomorrow if they don't get their certificate of insurance. Okay. I mean, they might not be able to close their loan, but those people, and someone else's crisis doesn't always need to be my emergency. And that was a lot of like how life, as an entrepreneur is. And so I just think that when you make a decision on how you want to show up and how you want to live, everything kind of shifts and changes. Not by any means that we have it all figured out, because believe me, Stacy and I have many a conversation every week about how we don't have it all figured out, but we do the best we can. And, I think the work-life balance conversation is always one that's great. And tend to think it's like a lot of guys. They always, well, how do you do it? And and I'm like, women, we just do. We invented that playbook. Like, we got it.
Yeah, I think talking to so many women over 5 years, you come to the realization that there is no work life balance. That anyone who wants to live in that world, just keep living in your fantasy castle, and like that's fine. But it's all good. It's all a facade, and you'll figure it out eventually. But I think there is beauty and accomplishment in chaos. And once you sort of get to that point in your mind where it doesn't always have to be pretty and pink and fluffy and perfect. Chaos. I don't love chaos. I hate drama, but sometimes we operate that way daily, and it's okay. Are we getting it done? It may be fucking messy, but if we're crossing the finish line, it's getting you where you need to be.
I always say we run a tight ship, but it's kind of like a pirate ship. It's a little unruly, it's a little messy. There's a guy with like, one leg and one eye and his eye patched, that's kind of who we are. We get it done.
We're walking the plank occasionally, but as long as we're not jumping off.
Somebody has scurvy, it's fine. It's not a big deal.